On this day, 1 year ago, a fire burned through Abilene, now known as the Mesquite Fire. To remember what was lost, we talked to residents who saw the flames firsthand and the community members who have the tragedy burned into their memories. Abby Herrera has more.
My name is Abby Herrera, and I'm a broadcast director for Fox West Texas. I typically spend my time behind the scenes to deliver you the news, but this time last year I was sent out to the field to cover the devastating Mesquite Heat Fire.
On this 1-year anniversary of the fire, I returned to southern Taylor County to talk with Stacy and John Mark Lopez, whose home was spared by the flames.
I remember pulling up the day that we were able to come back in, and I just remember crying, because we didn't know. We were gone for 4 days, and luckily we did have some friends that were working with the sheriff's department or the DPS trooper that was sitting here at our road, would send us pictures. And I remember the first day when we actually evacuated, we had no clue what was going to happen, no clue. And he got a picture from one of the sheriff's deputies, and all he said was, "I'm sorry, man, I can't help." Yes. And it was just, our house was just covered with flames, and you couldn't tell to him, and I was like, this is it. But finally getting the chance to come back and see that my house is here, but then also seeing all the black trees and everything that was just burnt just brought me to tears, because I'm like, this was almost all gone. And then to know that my neighbors did lose their home, it was sad. It was definitely a surreal moment to come back and see everything the way it was.
I remember approaching this lake hill, and it was kind of just lighting up in the sky, this dirty orange color, and by the time I got there, it was already dark outside. So I knew that this was more than just your typical everyday fire. The road that we were actually using to get into town was already blocked off. For Taylor County Sheriff Ricky Bishop, it was nothing he had ever seen before.
My experience that day, it was, it was a heck of a fire. It was one that we'd never seen before, as fast as it grew and as fast as it was moving, with the weather conditions that we had. We had consistently 120 foot flame lengths, and it was eating up everything in its path, and it would not slow down.
Drought conditions across the Lone Star State were very, very poor. So multiple burn bans were placed over several counties, and all that many of us really needed was rain, and we never got it. The next morning, the news would only get worse.
And we're looking at approximately 1,500 acres the first day and a half, and then in about 4 to 5 hours, it grew to almost 11,000 acres. So, it's just, you couldn't get in front of it. You couldn't hardly do anything. It was causing additional fires out ahead of itself, up, half a mile to a mile, and then it would burn back into itself, and it was moving so fast. With that rough country, you just couldn't get in front of it to stop it.
When we arrived at this staging area, there were these large pools of water so that trucks could come in, refill their tanks, along with filling them back up with fuel, and they would turn around and get right back into where they left off. And the fire eventually got so bad that ordering evacuations was something that needed to be done, with approximately 20 homes that were lost and about 11,000 acres of land burned. Many homeowners had no clue what was going on, and leaving their homes so abruptly was terrifying.
There were several that did not want to leave their homes, and once we told them we needed their information in case something happened, they changed their mind, especially when they looked outside and saw what was coming. We had a very short window to get people out. Fortunately, there was a lot of good deputies in the right areas that got those individuals out, and fortunately, through this entire event, we didn't have anybody injured or killed.
As the fire continued to grow, the community started saving what they could from their homes and their property. Unfortunately, they couldn't save it all.
A lot of those homeowners weren't even at home at the time, so they're trying to rush in from work, trying to get hooked onto trailers, get cattle moved, which we did lose some cattle in the fire because it moved so fast, but then getting horses and dogs and other cattle moved, it was a struggle there for a little while.
Is that any 10 meters or something?
Back up, I guess, yeah, all the way up to our backyard. Our grass, trees are all gone, so Well, number one, the good Lord saved our house. I'm telling you that right now, but there was just enough to keep it away from our house.
You know, I can't thank the community enough for their support, and also all the first responders that came out to help us. It was a large team effort, and as chaotic as it was, we were able to get the job done. So,
you know, the crazy part about this is you never heard anyone complain, and everyone was just so kind and determined to take down this fire no matter the time. And that is the true definition of what a hero is, someone so willing and brave to go that extra mile in tragedies like these. With photojournalist Iris Ibarra, I'm Abby Herrera, Fox West, Texas.